The question is, in today's talk, we suggest that meditators should make intensive noting. Intensive means incessantly, mean without stop. Noting of all the activities, not only in this intensive practice of sitting and walking sessions, and even in daily activities. So the question is, when eating, there is not much time to be very slow and noting everything. So what to do? The answer is, please don't forget this is the institutional training and a retreat. It's not a private, individual retreat. And here, like an institutional training. So in any institutional training, we must have discipline, and we must have program for meditators' guidance. So these instructions are given as a guidance for meditators to follow. Yes, as the question arises, we had to compromise in certain activities about this mindfulness. Yes, especially lunchtime is a time factor. Because you all are observing 8 precepts. 8 precepts. The 6th one is Vikala Bhojana Viramani Sekavaran Samadhiyami, meaning abstaining, taking solid food. After noon, meaning after 12 noon. So you have to take up time. So here, how to compromise or how to adjust yourself or how to adapt yourself with time. This Vipassana Bhavana or insight meditation, as the name suggests, it is mindfulness meditation. To be mindful of one's activities. So this one is instructed to do in 2 ways. One is with labeling, when you are mindfully noting an object by mental labeling, not with verbal, following by mental labeling, like intending to move and moving like that. So every action, if you follow with labeling of the action or labeling of the object, it of course will take time. So in eating, especially lunchtime, when you have to adjust your time, you just maintain awareness. Not necessary to follow with the labeling, because if you follow with the labeling, it will take time, it will consume time. You have to keep time to preserve the precept, as well as I just now said, institutional training. There are people who has to take care of this food and all these necessary labors. So that's how you can adjust. Instead of being absent-minded, normally in worldly life at home, while eating you may be looking at television or answering the phone or thinking or planning what to do. So that is we call absent-minded. The main action and the awareness of the mind is quite different. Here, if you can just keep awareness in case of this time factor, without any labeling, it can accommodate and time with others. Just now I have already explained, in noting the object, there are 2 methods. One is noting of the object by labeling. Labeling means by naming, like in sitting meditation, rising, falling. So mentally you follow when the abdomen distended, you say rising. When goes down, you say falling. That is we call labeling method. Or if you are just aware of it, you need not label. But one thing is, here you must not take things hard and fast through. According to situation, you have to adjust yourself. One advantage about labeling is, when you have to label, you have to make more effort. If you don't have to label, then you are noting is superficial and the mind tends to be distracted. So to anchor the mind at the object, it is preferable, if possible, to label. But as I just now said, like this eating time, or when you are crossing a heavy traffic road, or in case of emergency, when there is time factor, not necessary to label, because labeling will take time. Labeling is only when you are free and safe area, like in an intensive retreat while walking, or about the daily activities when you go back to the hostel to take a shower or to go to the toilet. There's no hurry. So then it is better to label. As I said, labeling has advantage of anchoring or making the mind to be more penetrating to the object, and it generates energy and effort to be more mindful. This is one advantage. But disadvantage is, just now we have explained, in case of time factor, when we had to keep time, then it can delay your action. So in that case, we have to compromise, as I say. In case when there is time factors involved, just keep awareness without following with labeling. But when there is no emergency or time factor, it's better to label. So in sitting meditation, we give the main object as rising, falling of the abdomen, or if one is difficult to see, one can note sitting and touch. So in the walking meditation, one has the main object is to note the movement of the foot. Movement of the foot. As 1, 2, 3 methods we have given. One face noting means right step, left step. You begin with that. Then when it becomes seasoned in the practice, you increase to noting as lifting and putting down. And the third phase is to note lifting, moving forward and putting down. So these are the main objects. Yeah, so the question is, in daily activities, what should be the main object of noting or mindfulness? So the rule is, the golden rule to be kept in mind, or for the choice of the object is, any predominant object must be taken as main object. Like in sitting meditation, when we are sitting comfortably, when there is no other distraction, this rising, falling is all the time there. So that's why we give this. And so also sitting, the body that is sitting is always present there. So these become predominant and sitting. So also in walking, the walk means forward, the foot action. The action is motion of the foot. So you watch as the main object. So in other daily activities, like if you are doing bathing, so the all acts that involve action as well as the experiences that you gain in the process of bathing must be taken as object and noted. Like from here, when you go back, first intention to get up, intending to get up, getting up, then intending to walk and walk. When you walk, because if you want to take time, you can do 2 or 3 steps. But if not much time, you just know right step, left step. When you reach the door, intending to open the door, opening the door, then changing the clothing, taking whatever it is, soap or toothbrush, to go into the bathroom, taking shower. When you're taking shower, when the sensations will arise by water or soaping. So all these become predominant ones, and these must be taken as object and not. So at night, after the day's session, when you go back to the room, there is time for lying down meditation. And Kaya Nupassana Satipatthana, mindfulness meditation, as we often stated, 4 foundations. The first one is Kaya Nupassana, contemplation on this physical phenomena or bodily actions. So this must be done in Iriyapada Bhava, body posture, noting Buddha prescribed 4 body posture. So here in the hall, sitting meditation, 1 session, and walking combined together with standing meditation. At the end of each part, each walking, while standing, don't immediately turn back. While standing, you can note standing meditation. So standing and walking combined together, 2 sessions. So lying down meditation must be done at night before you fall asleep. So the same thing, like go back with mindfulness, noting right step, left step, opening the door, preparing the bed, and you lie down, close your eyes. And only thing is, at night time, don't do sitting, standing, or walking, because it can increase the alertness and you may not be able to sleep. So just relax and lie down, close your eyes, and either note. At that time, rising, falling can be very easy to observe in a lying position. Or if not, you can do lying and touching. In sitting posture, we ask to note sitting, touching, standing, touching. So also in lying down position, you visualize yourself lying on the bed and make one mental noting, lying and touching, the whole body touching. So you choose one spot, either head touching the pillow or buttocks touching the bed. Lying, touching, lying, touching. And if you fall asleep, that's the time to take rest, and you continue noting only when you wake up. So this is how you do it. So also we recommend our meditators to take time, rest, and especially after meals, after breakfast and lunch. It is advisable scientifically to do lying down meditation. Go back to the room with the idea of doing lying down meditation. Because some meditators complain, probably change your environment, sometimes complain that they cannot sleep. Our mind is like a naughty child. If you're forced to sleep, it don't sleep. It becomes more sleepless. So if you meditate, you fall asleep easily. You may see some meditators while sitting there sleeping. So when you meditate, it'll fall asleep. So don't worry about sleeping and don't force yourself to sleep. You go back with the idea of lying down meditation at night as well as after meals. Take a few moments to lie down and do lying down meditation. If you fall asleep, take a nap and then you can come up over here. So for eating, just now as I have explained, for eating you have to adjust yourself according to times. So eating most probably you cannot label and detail. So just keep mental awareness, or in simple terms we call presence of mind, instead of letting the mind astray with adventurous thoughts or wandering thoughts or distraction by commotion and the environment. So you just try to keep your attention on the process of eating, and if you can be aware of the present action that's taking place in the process of eating, that is good enough, without following by labeling every movement. So labeling usually we do in conventional terms. And conventional terms are in Pali we call panyati. Just name, not real. The ultimate truth is paramattha we call, and that's what we must aim for, and that's how to lead you all to be able to see and the ultimate sense of your object, that we are giving these talks and educating you how to see it. So at the beginning only, this labeling is to be done in panyati or conventional way, like rising, falling, or left step, right step, lifting, moving, putting, or when you are seeing, hearing. So later on, we must be able to identify paramattha dhamma to gain the enlightenment or the knowledge of what is real and what is unreal. So that is how we are trying to lead you all. So we begin with, we cannot totally discard this conventional usage of panyati also. So we have to use panyati at the beginning, and later we'll have to change our perception or understanding towards the ultimate reality. That's how we are explaining in our talks, emphasizing on these ultimate realities. For conventional usage, nobody needs any lesson or training, because we've been conditioned or habituated to identify any of our experience in this conventional sense from the time when we grew up, from babyhood, when we started learning our environment. We are trained in that way, not only in this life, from unforeseeable of past lives. So we are conditioned and we are habituated and identifying these conventional experiences. So the thing is, when one is bent to seek deliverance from this samsaric suffering, we must gradually change this conventional understanding into ultimate reality of paramattha. That is why we are trying to educate. And that is the main emphasis when I said in my last talk, the main emphasis of Vipassana Bhavana, insight meditation, is to develop wisdom. Wisdom means is paramattha knowledge. For conventional knowledge, we are used to it. We are habituated, or we are conditioned to see that way. Like man, woman, human beings, cats, dogs, animals, and all these are conventional usages. So in our Buddhist teaching, the truth in this world is the two truths. One is conventional truth, panyati, and the ultimate truth, the other truth is ultimate truth, paramattha. So in meditational practice, especially this Vipassana Bhavana, insight meditation, we must change our habit of identifying these in panyati way or conventional way into ultimate reality. That's why we are explaining in our last talk how to identify in your practical meditation these paramattha dhamma. so-called a living being. So we take ourselves as object and we observe. So-called a living being is just psychophysical complex, a compound of physical elements and the mental energy. So the body and mind, in simple words. And in Pali we call Nama and Rupa. And Rupa, or physical phenomena or material phenomena, can be identified by 4 gross elements. And that's what I'm explaining in my last talk. So-called, this physical body is just made up of these 4 gross elements. One is earth element, solidity. So solidity can be identified by your feeling of hardness and softness. Then next is apodha to water element. Water element is cohesion property or liquidity. Then tejo element, heat. Heat element, tejo is. And vayu element is wind element, element of motion. So when you are noting rising, falling, the word labeling or rising, falling is just panyati. But the Paramatha Dhamma that one must realize, the meditator must realize, the rising, falling means there's a motion there. Element of motion is vayu dhatu. You are experiencing the wind element or vayu dhatu. So that's how you can identify Paramatha Dhamma in your meditation. Though you labor, and noting you have to labor as rising and falling of the abdomen. Actually, abdomen, if you are experiencing abdomen is solidity, it is earth element. And moving up and down, element of motion is wind element. When you feel heat or cold, is heat element. And sometimes you may feel sweat or moisture in the abdomen under the clothing, and that is water element. So that shows that this physical body is made up of these 4 gross elements. So though we say body or abdomen, hand or foot, though it is not wrong, it is just a conventional or panyati names. And ultimate reality, these are made up of 4 gross elements as identifiable by their characteristics. Okay, let us stop here and we'll continue next talk. Idame Bonya Nibbanasa Pachiyo Hodu Idame Bonya Yatinang Hodu Sukita Hundu Nyadayo Imano Bonya Bhaga Sabha Satana Dema Sad. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all be free from suffering. May you all attain eternal peace or nibbana in the shortest possible time.